Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Audio Rain Books. I am very happy to share with you. If you like this audiobook, please subscribe and support my channel and leave comments. Let's move on to the book.
100 Ways to Improve Your Writing by Gary Provost. The 5 Big Ideas. A writer's most important vocabulary is the one he or she already has. A lead should have energy, excitement, an implicit promise that something is going to happen or that some interesting information will be revealed. When writing a beginning, remove every sentence until you come to one you cannot do without. Style is form, not content. To write is to create music. 100 Ways to Improve Your Writing. 9 Ways to improve your writing when you're not writing. Get some reference books. Expand your vocabulary. Improve your spelling. Read. Take a class. Eavesdrop. Research. Write in your head. Choose a time and place. 9 Ways to Overcome Writer's Block. Copy something. Keep a journal. Talk about what you're writing. Touch your toes. Do writing exercises. Organize your material. Make a list. Picture a reader. Ask yourself why you are writing. 5 Ways to Write a Strong Beginning. Find a slant. Write a strong lead. Don't make promises you can't keep. Set a tone and maintain it. Begin at the beginning. 9 Ways to Save Time and Energy. Use pyramid construction. Use topic sentences. Write short paragraphs. Use transitional phrases. Don't explain when you don't have to. Use bridge words. Avoid wordiness. Steal. Stop writing when you get to the end. 10 Ways to Develop Style. Think about style. Listen to what you write. Mimic spoken language. Vary sentence length. Vary sentence construction. Write complete sentences. Show, don't tell. Keep related words together. Use parallel construction. 10. Don't force a personal style. 12 Ways to Give Your Words Power. Use short words. Use dense words. Use familiar words. Use active verbs. Use strong verbs. Use specific nouns. Use the active voice. Most of the time. Say things in a positive way. Most of the time. Be specific. Use statistics. Provide facts. Put emphatic words at the end. 11 Ways to Make People Like What You Write. Make yourself likable. Write about people. Show your opinion. Obey your own rules. Use anecdotes. Use examples. Name your sources. Provide useful information. Use quotations. Use quotes. Create a strong title. 8. 10 ways to avoid grammatical errors. Respect the rules of grammar. Do not change tenses. Know how to use the possessive case. Make verbs agree with their subjects. Fix dangling modifiers. Avoid shifts in pronoun forms. Do not split infinitives. Beware these common mistakes. Be sensitive to changes in the language. Prefer good writing to good grammar. 9. 6 ways to avoid punctuation errors. Use orthodox punctuation. Know when to use a comma. Know when to use a semicolon. Know when to use a colon. Use exclamation points only when exclaiming and question marks only when asking questions. Know how to use quotation marks. 12 ways to avoid making your reader hate you. Avoid jargon. Avoid cliches. Avoid parentheses. Avoid footnotes. Don't use transitions to conceal information. Don't acknowledge when you should explain. Don't hide behind your words. Don't intrude. Don't play word games. Don't play the Tom Wolfe game. Don't play the mystery game. Don't cheat. 11. 7 ways to edit yourself. Read your work out loud. Cut unnecessary words. Think about what you have written. Ask yourself these questions. Follow these rules of form for titles. Prepare a perfect manuscript. Use common sense. 100 ways to improve your writing summary. A writer's most important vocabulary is the one he or she already has. Learning new words is much less important than learning to use easily the words you already know, writes Provost. Think about other words' possibilities when you write, and eventually they will come so quickly that you won't have to stop. Picture your reader. Before you write, figure out who you are trying to reach. Ask yourself, who is the reader and what does he or she know? To write is not necessarily to communicate. Communication occurs in the mind of the reader, and if that reader is not familiar with your terms and your concepts, you might as well write them in Latvian. Whether a lead is the first sentence, the first paragraph, or even the first several paragraphs of your article or story, it should be provocative. A lead should have energy, excitement, an implicit promise that something is going to happen or that some interesting information will be revealed. It should create curiosity, get the reader asking questions. Your lead should give readers something to care about before it gives them dry background information. Something to care about usually means one of two things. Either you give the readers information that affects them directly, or you give them a human being with whom they can identify. You know you have a strong lead if it delivers on the promise it makes. When writing a beginning, remove every sentence until you come to one you cannot do without. Writing in the pyramid style means getting to the point at the top, putting the who, what, when, where, and why in the first paragraph, and developing the supporting information under it. A Topic sentence contains the thought that is developed throughout the rest of the paragraph. The topic sentence is commonly the first sentence in a paragraph. For each paragraph, ask, what do I want to say here? What point do I want to make? What question do I want to present? Answer with a single general sentence. When you rewrite your early drafts, ask how each sentence in a paragraph supports the topic sentence of the paragraph. If the answer is it doesn't, then ask what other work the sentence is doing in the paragraph. If the answer is none, get rid of the sentence. A transition in writing is a word or group of words that moves the reader from one place to another. Use a transition to show the reader the connection between what he has just read and what he is about to read by implying the relationship between those two bodies of information. A bridge word is a word that is used in one paragraph and then repeated in the following transition. It shows you how the writer got from one thought to another, thus supplying you with a smooth bridge between thoughts. You are wordy when you are redundant, such as when you write, last May, during the spring, or little kittens, or very unique. Wordiness for the writer also means using long words when there are good short ones available. Someone once said that if you steal from one writer, it's called plagiarism, but if you steal from several, it's called research. Further reading. Austin Kleon discusses the difference between stealing and plagiarism in his book, Steal Like an Artist. Here's how Provost explains how to know when to stop writing. How do you know when you have finished? Look at the last sentence and ask yourself, what does the reader lose if I cross it out? If the answer is nothing or I don't know, then cross it out. Do the same thing with the next to last sentence, and so forth. When you get to the sentence that you must have, read it out loud. Is it a good closing sentence? Does it sound final? Is it pleasant to the ear? Does it leave the reader in the mood you intended? If so, you are done. If not, rewrite it so that it does. Then stop writing. In writing, the word style means how an idea is expressed, not the idea itself. Style is form, not content. A reader usually picks up a story because of content, but too often puts it down because of style. To write is to create music. The words you write make sounds, and when those sounds are in harmony, the writing will work. Editor's note. Below is my all-time favorite writing quote, and the reason I read the book to begin with, image source. Good writing often contains incomplete sentences. Write complete sentences 99% of the time. But now and then, if a partial sentence sounds right to you, that's what you should write. Period. Just as the steady beat of a drum can often enrich a melody, the repetition of a sound can often improve the music of your writing. This is called parallel construction. A dense word is a word that crowds a lot of meaning into a small space. The fewer words you use to express an idea, the more impact that idea will have. Active verbs do something. Inactive verbs are something. Verbs are weak when they are not specific, are not active, or are unnecessarily dependent on adverbs for their meaning. Sharpen a verb's meaning by being precise. Turn look into stare, gaze, peer, peek or gawk, for example. Good writing requires the use of strong nouns. A strong noun is one that is precise and densely packed with information. Be on the lookout for adjectives that are doing work that could be done by the noun. Before you write a noun that is modified by one or two adjectives, ask yourself if there is a noun that can convey the same information. Instead of writing about a black dog, maybe you want to write about a Doberman. When you take out a general word and put in a specific one, you usually improve your writing. But when you use a specific word, readers assume you are trying to tell them something, so make sure you choose the specific word that delivers the message you want delivered. A man driving a Jaguar builds connotations of money and speed than if we're driving a car. The active voice makes for more interesting reading, and it is the active voice that you should cultivate as your normal writing habit. If the object of the action is the important thing, then you will want to emphasize it by mentioning it first. When that's the case, you will use the passive voice. Try to be specific without being wordy. Don't make a sentence specific by hooking up a freight train of details to it. Make it specific by whittling all the possible word combinations down to those few that say what you want them to say. Statistics should be sprinkled like pepper, not smeared like butter. Emphatic words are those words you want the reader to pay special attention to. They contain the information you are most eager to communicate. You can get that extra attention for those words by placing them at the end of the sentence. For example, ask what you can do for America, not what America can do for you. Ask not what America can do for you, ask what you can do for America. You must stick with the tone you have established. Readers won't object to any particular tone or rule. They only ask that they be informed and that you don't break the rules you set. Your reader's reaction to your information depends on your sources. A phrase like widely regarded means nothing to the reader unless he or she knows what you mean by widely regarded. Use a quote when the speaker's words will achieve your goals more effectively than your own words. To succeed as a writer, you must respect the rules of grammar. For instance, if you begin to write in one tense, you should not switch to another. Most nouns are made possessive by adding s, the dog's paws, a child's toy, the ocean's beauty. However, if a noun ends in s already and is plural, simply add an apostrophe, the dog's paws. A singular noun ending in s may be made possessive either way, the actress's role / the actress role. When joint possession is being shown, the s usually is added only to the last member of the series. June and Jane's mother is coming to lunch. However, if what is possessed is not identical, each noun in the series should have s. June's and Jane's teachers are coming to lunch. With compound nouns, the s is added to the final word. My mother-in-law's house is spotless. The personal pronoun it does not use an apostrophe in its possessive form. When writing a long or complicated sentence, check to make certain your verb agrees in number with its subject. A dangling modifier is a word or group of words that appears to modify an inappropriate word in the same sentence. The error occurs most often when passive rather than active verbs are used. Do not switch from singular forms to plural ones. An infinitive is split when an adverb is placed between the word to and a verb. Many people cannot remember the difference between who and whom. Who is typically the subject of a sentence and whom is an object that follows a preposition such as to, with, for, or about. difference between that and which is another frequent source of confusion. That is used to introduce a restrictive clause. A restrictive clause restricts the meaning of your noun and can't be removed from the sentence without subtracting some of its sense. A non-restrictive clause is a piece of extra information introduced by which you'll usually see a comma prior to a non-restrictive clause. Whenever you knowingly use poor grammar, you should ask yourself two questions. The first, is my meaning clear? If the answer is no, rewrite. The second question, what am I getting in return for the poor grammar? If you can't answer that, don't use poor grammar. When your ear fails you and you can't decide whether to add that comma, don't. Here are some rules to help you with commas. Use a comma following introductory words like yes, no, and but. Realize, though, that there are times when such words are not being used as introductions to a sentence. Clauses joined by, but often require a comma. He wanted to eat out, but he didn't have any money. Use commas between members of a series. Use a comma before a direct quotation. If the direct quotation is long, use a colon rather than a comma. Following a person's name, set off by commas information indicating residence, position, or title. Use a comma to separate elements of a sentence that might be misread. The semicolon signals a distinct pause in a sentence. Use it when a comma would not give your sentence sufficient pause. Here are two rules to help you with semicolons. Use a semicolon to separate closely related independent clauses that are not joined by a conjunction. Use a semicolon to separate word series that contain commas. Before you turn in anything you have written, whether to a teacher or an editor, read aloud every word. Every word you write should be doing some work in the sentence. It should earn its keep by providing some portion of the total information you are trying to communicate. Read what you have written and cross out every word that is not contributing information. Before calling a draft final, ask these questions. Is it clear from the beginning what you're writing about? Does each paragraph advance the subject? Do the important ideas stand out clearly? Are more details, examples, or anecdotes needed? Is the information sufficiently clear? Are there sweeping statements that need to be supported? Do any technical terms need explanation? Is there needless repetition? Is the tone consistent? Are any of the sentences too involved to follow with ease? Are any of the words vague? Are there grammatical errors? Are there punctuation errors? Reading list. The following are a list of books Provost recommends reading. Finding Facts Fast by Alden Todd. Jargon, Its Uses and Abuses by Walter Nash. On Language by Noam Chomsky. The Book of Lists by David Walchinsky, Irving Wallace, and Amy Wallace. The Careful Writer by Theodore M. Bernstein. The Language Instinct, How the Mind Creates Language by Steven Pinker. The World Almanac and Book of Facts by Sarah Jansen. 30 Days to a More Powerful Vocabulary by Wilfred Funk and Norman Lewis. Words into Type by Skillen. Recommended reading. If you like 100 Ways to Improve Your Writing, you might also like Buy the book, 100 Ways to Improve Your Writing.
Thank you for listening this audiobook. I am very happy to share with you. If you like this audiobook, please subscribe and support my channel and leave comments. Have a nice day. Bye bye.